Today, we are going to be talking about the missing case of Suzanne Simpson. She is a real estate agent and mom of four from Olmos Park, Texas, who went missing on October 6, 2024. She was last seen at a private club in the Alamo Heights area with her husband, Brad Simpson. Brad and Suzanne attended a party at the Argyle, which is a member only club in the Alamo Heights area of San Antonio, Texas, about a mile from their Olmos Park home. This is the last known photo where she is seen publicly. On October 7th, Brad received a call notifying him that no one had picked up the couple's youngest child, a 5-year-old girl, from school, according to the arrest affidavit. Suzanne usually picked up their daughter from school every day. At 10 p.m. on October 7th, Brad reported his wife missing and that her cell phone could not be found. The last known signal or ping from her cell phone is recorded in a business parking lot in Olmos Park at 7:15 a.m. On October 8th, Brad Simpson became uncooperative with investigators and failed to show up for an interview. Police learned that he had relocated to his ranch in Bandera County. Investigators questioned Brad's brother, who told police that Brad had called him and apologized for all the problems he had caused. At 4:30 p.m., police interviewed staff at the local school one of their children attends. The child told staff that her parents were fighting and that her dad assaulted her mom. The daughter also said Suzanne had a bruise on her elbow and her dad had taken her mom's phone away. Olmos Park police released a missing persons flyer to news outlets around 1 p.m., and neighbors and friends started to show up in the area to pass out flyers and search for Suzanne. At 9:50 p.m., police questioned Simpson's neighbor, who told them that on the night of October 6, between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m., he heard an argument between Brad and Suzanne. He looked out his window and saw them having a physical altercation outside of their home. The neighbor saw Suzanne trying to get away from Brad as he grabbed her by the upper torso and tried to pull her down. There was a struggle for about 1 minute. He said it appeared Brad was trying to keep his wife from running away. The neighbor later grabbed a flashlight and went outside to look for the Simpsons before hearing 2 or 3 screams from a wooded, brushy area near the home. Between 11 p.m. and midnight, the same neighbor saw Brad Simpson's black GMC Sierra leave the couple's home. The truck returned about an hour later, according to the arrest affidavit. On October 9th at 12:42 a.m., police obtained an arrest warrant for Brad Simpson on charges of assault, family violence, and unlawful restraint. At 1:30 a.m., Kendall County deputies arrested Brad, and he was transferred into the Bexar County custody on October 10th. Olmos Park Police Chief Fidel Villegas held a media briefing announcing the arrest of Brad Simpson.
We did develop enough information to obtain a warrant with the assistance of the Texas Rangers, actually 2 warrants. One was for assault, family violence, and the other one was for unlawful restraint. So in the early morning hours, about 1:30 a.m., we arrested Mr. Simpson, and we had support. This was not in Bexar County. This was actually in Kendall County. And it was for those 2 warrants that were approved by the Bexar County magistrate.
Vegas mentioned that investigators found 2 items in the woods, but he did not offer specifics. He said he was not able to determine yet whether they were connected to Suzanne Simpson. Investigators also searched the couple's home and surrounding areas, but declined to say what, if any, evidence was found. On Friday, October 11th, federal authorities placed a hold on Brad Simpson. A federal hold or detainer is a request from a federal agency to keep an inmate in custody or to notify the agency before his or her release. Authorities searched the 3300 block of I-10 near Highway 87, about a mile away from where Brad Simpson was arrested. The search lasted from about 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Authorities did not say if anything of significance was found. A warrant to search a Southeast Bexar County landfill for any clues regarding Suzanne Simpson's disappearance was signed on October 12th after being filed under seal by the Texas DPS. A prayer vigil was held for Suzanne Simpson on Sunday, October 13th at Lourdes Grotto on Blanco Road.
Barbara Clark tells us how she and the family have been getting through it tonight after a vigil for her missing daughter.
We try to be positive, try to focus on God.
News 4 San Antonio's Stephanie Esquivel was there and spoke with Barbara, who tells us about the last time she talked with her daughter.
Suzanne Simpson's mother, Barbara Clark, tells me she doesn't believe Suzanne is alive. Barbara tells me she communicated with Suzanne regularly, and If Suzanne were alive, she would have contacted her by now.
Suzanne and I had an opportunity to talk an hour before a lot of this has happened, and I don't understand why and what happened, and I hope someday I'll be able to understand the situation.
Suzanne Simpson's mother, Barbara Clark, says Suzanne called her the night she was last seen, asking Barbara to watch one of her 4 children while she went to a friend's party. Suzanne ended up changing her mind, and later that night, Barbara says Suzanne called her again to tell her about an altercation she had with her husband, 53-year-old Brad Simpson.
Now, my speculation is maybe the whole thing is alcohol related, because when she got back, she called me up and told me the things that Brad had done to her physically.
Barbara says that wasn't the first time Suzanne and Brad had a disagreement, and Barbara was going to ask Suzanne to leave.
Well, I came up with an alternative plan for her in the hope that she'd move in with me and have her little toddler go to the elementary school in my neighborhood. I never got to tell her the plan.
The organizer of tonight's vigil tells me he's known both Suzanne and her husband Brad for decades and just wanted to bring their loved ones together for prayer. On the north side, Stephanie Esquivel, News 4, San Antonio.
On Monday, October 14th, the search for Suzanne started at the Southeast Bexar County landfill. In a statement released to city residents, officials said evidence, statements, and further police investigation led officers to the landfill, the location in which investigators asked not to share. On Tuesday, October 15th, an affidavit revealed Brad Simpson now faced a federal charge of illegally owning a short-barreled rifle. He faces up to 10 years in federal prison and a $250,000 fine. This charge is the reason Brad Simpson had a federal detainer on his release from the Bexar County Jail. In a post on X, San Antonio Police Chief William McManus said the Olmos Park Police asked for SAPD's help in the search. Chief McManus said 25 cadets were assisting in the search. On Wednesday, local and state investigators expressed certainty that the body was at the landfill. On October 16th, Barden Simpson condemned his brother on social media. He released the following statement. Until Brad chooses to cooperate, we will continue to cooperate for him, as we have from the very beginning of this heartbreaking ordeal. This is not how he was raised, and this is not who we are. Our parents instilled in us the values of honoring and protecting others, and they are truly remarkable people. The devastation this has caused to our family is overwhelming. Brad's refusal to cooperate is unacceptable. My sister and brother-in-law have stepped up to take care of the children, but the impact on our parents has been shattering. Our lives have been irreparably changed. We will not rest until we find Suzanne. The Department of Public Safety abruptly announced on Thursday evening that they were stopping the search at the landfill, saying they had not found evidence. A source with knowledge of the investigation told the San Antonio Express News police searched the landfill because GPS evidence had led them there. The City of Olmos Park Mayor Aaron Harrison said the search would resume within city limits. He also said that the Olmos Park Police Department had enlisted the resources of Texas Search and Rescue, an Austin-based nonprofit organization. On Monday, October 21st, James Cotter, a longtime business associate of Brad Simpson, was arrested on felony charges of tampering with evidence with the intent to impair an investigation. Jail records also show Cotter faces a felony charge of possession of prohibited weapons. His bond was set at $1 million, but eventually reduced down to $100,000, $50,000 for each charge. KENS 5 reported that he was arrested for helping Brad hide an AK-47, which was retrieved by an ATF K-9 team from Cotter's home. Cotter concealed the weapon in a bedroom wall in his home at the Dominion Country Club. Brad text messaged Cotter on October 8th saying, "If you're in Bandera, can you haul ass and meet me at your house? I don't have much time." On the same day of his business partner's arrest, Brad Simpson's court-appointed attorney, Stephen Gilmore, filed a motion to change Simpson's bond conditions. The current provisions prevent him from seeing his 4 children, but his attorney says there's no threats of harm to his kids nor has the state alleged any evidence to suggest that his condition is in any way related to the safety of the community or an alleged victim. The motion further reads, defendant is not a flight risk, therefore, counsel requests that the no contact order be modified to permit no harmful or injurious contact. Brad's first hearing is set for November 13th, where he will go before Bexar County Judge Melanie Lira for his arraignment, where he will have his charges formally read to him and he will have the opportunity to plead guilty or not guilty. Yesterday, November 7th, he was charged with murder and given a $2 million bond. While authorities have not found Suzanne Simpson, sources said they believe they have enough evidence to charge Brad in her death. In all, Simpson is facing charges for unlawful restraint, family violence, tampering, fabricating physical evidence, prohibited weapon-related charges, and a charge of murder, with all bonds for his charges totaling $5 million.
It's always important to do what is right, especially when it is most difficult. This situation is heartbreaking for us, but it brings some peace to our family, knowing that the authorities have gathered enough evidence to move forward with charges. This helps us come to terms with the reality that Suzanne is no longer with us, allowing us to continue the difficult process of grieving and focus on rebuilding our lives for the sake of the children and our extended family. We remain deeply appreciative of the Almus Park Police Department, the Texas Rangers, Texas DPS, and all assisting law enforcement agencies involved and their dedication and determination to help us find Suzanne. We're also incredibly grateful for the support of our amazing, loving community and for everyone who has reached out, supported us, and kept us in their prayers. It is our sincere hope and prayer that Brad will find the compassion and courage to end his family's suffering by cooperating with the authorities to help us find his wife. Thank you very much.
Her remains are believed to be somewhere in the Bandera area where Simpson headed the night of her disappearance. I'm going to have some important numbers in the description box, and I'll put them here up on the screen as well. Some domestic violence hotlines that can help you or someone you know. I'll also have some numbers for the detectives that you can utilize in case you know or think you have anything that could help them out in the case. Thank you for tuning into my video today, and hopefully Suzanne is found so she can be laid to rest. Please subscribe, and I hope to see you here soon.